on it. Jason, how are you and how's your week?
My week's been pretty good. I can't really complain. A lot of news, a lot of watching the Kavanaugh hearings, obviously, which were kind of tireless, and that's what's been in, I guess, the large scale quote unquote left right divide that we've seen this week. I mean, people threatening each other on Facebook like I've never seen before in my life. The memes are just ridiculous. It's literally become a Hollywood circus sideshow. Friendships have been lost. Divorces are in the works over a lot of nothing, my man. Over a lot of basically distraction stuff. And the thing is, like, for instance, that big skit last night over on SNL, right? It's got 6 million plus views since yesterday. When was the last time any kind of politics garnered that kind of attention? And why? Because it's a sleazy sex scandal. That's why. If it had anything to
Well, well,
do,
well, obviously, politics is dirty. Politics is all just the illusion of so-called control that a few people have on us. It's not it's about the important news that actually matters and affects us. When has there been a time where something that actually affects us actually matters in our lives that has garnered so many views, just like SNL did last night?
not many. Not many times. That's what I'm saying. It's a real problem. For instance, if this was a big issue, Luke, where they were talking Fourth Amendment and that's why this guy should not be there, I'd be the first in line, and I know you would be too, right? But that's not what this is about. We're not talking about freedom. We're not talking about civil liberties. We're not talking about authoritarianism. We're talking about Matt Damon impersonating Kavanaugh talking about lifting weights and crying in high school. That's where we're at.
I gotta say that was a pretty. I saw the skit. It was a good skit, but it is kind of hypocritical with Matt Damon also kind of being buddy buddy with Mr. Harvey Weinstein, the pretty much one of the kingpins. One of them. There's many out there still of sexual predators who are a part of the establishment and of course the bigger Hollywood circles that are all interconnected. Uh, Also, me and my friend Tim Pool, we saw. Fahrenheit 11.9. We just released a video earlier today with our official review on that movie. It was so hypocritical because he's like, look, the media got Trump into power. And then he goes on and lists all the sexual predators and be like, look at all these white men being predators. And I'm like, do people forget the fact that Harvey Weinstein also produced Fahrenheit 11.9? They edited it out of the credits, his name out of there. But people need to remember this movie that flopped and was absolutely trash and horrible was produced by Harvey frickin' Weinstein. And again, just the hypocrisy, just the bullcrap that's all around us is seething, and that's why no one really likes politics. That's why the majority of people don't vote. That's why the majority of people don't care about politics, and they're more kind of, I would say, more kind of illusioned by all the celebritard news that's happening. That, of course, we're going to cover, but we're going to give our own specific context to just how ridiculous and stupid it is.
Well, we will indeed, because I'm sure that we have differing opinions on the whole Kanye West situation. I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but every time I see him try to do something political, Luke, all I can think about is that South Park episode where he's the voice of a generation. I'm the voice of a generation. And to me, we've talked about it before. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about freedom of speech. We're going to get into a ton of stuff that he's
Well, let's
blown
just
up.
get into it right now because
Sure.
obviously everyone right now is talking about Kanye West being on Saturday Night Live yesterday and SNL deciding to stop the broadcast when Kanye West was delivering a speech about Donald Trump running for president and a lot more. And Kanye West on television, which was of course censored by SNL, other people recorded it, said, quote, oh God, I have to quote Kanye West, this is going to be embarrassing, y'all be going at Trump. I don't think it's actually that helpful. I think the universe has balance. 90% of the news are liberal. 90% of TV, LA, New York, writers, rappers, musicians. So it's easy to make it seem like it's so one-sided. That's literally what Kanye West said last night. He also went on and said, quote, there's so many times I talk to like a white person about this and they say, how could you like Trump? He's racist. Well, if I was concerned about racism, I would have moved out of America a long time ago. The most interesting facet of the conversation that happened with Kanye was when he was on stage, and he also talked about how people were bullying him backstage and were telling him not to go out there with Donald Trump's Make America Great Again red hat. And he even described himself being bullied and saying that he was in a sunken place. Now, of course, the media categorized this as a bizarre rant. Other people on the right wing are taking this as, Donald Trump coming into the national discourse and trying to build a dialogue between both sides of America. So depending on what side you're leaning, there's different opinions of what we saw with Kanye West on Saturday Night Live. He's still tweeting right now. He's tweeting a whole bunch of stuff. And obviously a lot of right-wingers are clinging on to this because they're like, look, we have Kanye West now. Kanye West is on our side. And I'm saying, well, that's kind of stupid because Kanye West, to me, from my experience covering Kanye West news and covering the political discourse, is using this as a marketing opportunity like he did before with his album coming out. Before his album came out, he made similar statements. He wore the MAGA hat and then spurred huge controversy. And I think he's playing out of the Kim Kardashian, Bruce Jenner playbook, understanding that controversy is views, is attention. And ever since his album released, no one really has been talking about him. No one really has been bringing him into the spotlight. And now, bam, because he's making some Make America Great comments, automatically everyone's talking about him. People love him. People hate him, just like the Kardashians, just like Bruce Jenner. And it works in the playbook of marketing. And to me, this is all just a big marketing play. And the people on the right wing promoting this are also just ultimately getting played because Kanye West flip-flops on his views. One time he's supporting partling shootings and gun control, at another time he's like, right now I'm looking at his Twitter, and he just tweeted, "Amera, I can," and he's talking about the 13th Amendment and how the 13th Amendment is slavery in disguise, saying that it never ended and that we need a solution. He posted himself with a MAGA hat on a private jet, talking about how Donald Trump is no longer outsourcing jobs to the country, building factories here in the United States. And it goes along with what just happened previously, with also him changing his name officially to now Yee. Say this with me, Jason. Yee. His new name is now Yee. Another kind of marketing ploy. And to me, the whole SNL controversy that's brewing right now, that people are debating fiercely, that are trying to bring in race relations into, it really is exemplified by one of the comments that I heard last night with a fan screaming at Kanye West during his performance saying, "I love you, Kanye," and Kanye responding back on the microphone saying, "Yeah, I love me too." This is pretty much the epitome of what I see happening here. And of course, right-wingers clinging on this, using this as a way to better their kind of race relations, being like, we got Kanye, and the left wing's responding and trying to tar and feather him. And Kanye sitting there getting all the attention, getting all the, of course, financial rewards and attention rewards and entertainment industry buzzing about him, and he's happy. So you have that aspect on the right, which I believe does need to be considered, and I believe this is the same kind of conclusion we had during the previous controversy that everyone was talking about right before his album, right, Jason?
Yep, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Marketing genius, crazy fool otherwise. He knows how to get attention. His wife knows how to get attention. Last night I got home and there were some damn kids on my lawn because I live next to a fraternity house. Dude, I came back and there were literally like 5 people running out to pee from my house. They were peeing on my house. I had to kick people off my lawn. They were over on my sister's car. So I trekked upstairs a little after midnight, and this girl I know, I haven't talked to her in years, she posted the picture of Kanye in the Dom Perignon suit. And I'm thinking to myself, all day I've seen the MAGA stuff. I saw the Tomorrow's News Today crew talking about how he magically talked about Alex Jones and Trump being the awakening. There's no video of it. There's no proof that happened. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. They're saying that it was edited out of the video feeds. This is when he went to, what was Fader magazine? He went to the Fader magazine. He started reading poetry. Okay? He's wearing a Kaepernick shirt and he's wearing a MAGA hat. And people are jumping on this. Well, I'm not jumping on this pony, guys. Let me tell you why. And I know people are going to get mad in the chat. Mentally unstable individuals do not help your case in the long run. I have experience with this. Charlie Sheen is a great example. He did us no favors really beyond that one C-SPAN hearing we got, which was good. But think about in retrospect, the tiger blood, the allegations, it's not great. So you glom onto a guy like this who's ranting in the middle of New York City with his phone, complaining about beefs with Drake and every other stupid rapper about his fake wife that had 2 husbands before him and sells everything she can to every gullible attention whore selfie mother trucker out there. And you're going to be sorry. I'm sorry. This guy is not the voice of my generation. I assure you of that. And like you said, this is a great publicity stunt because who the hell gives a shizzle about Ye? The big talk on the streets with the kids right now, Luke, as far as I know, is the Carter 5. And good for Lil Wayne. I really don't love his rap, but I like a lot of his message. Lil Wayne, you know what he doesn't focus on? Racism. He wouldn't tweet something ridiculous like he did. If I wanted to leave America because of racism, if I cared about racism, like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, and the right wingers are loving this up, and they're eating all of this up and promoting it like they're actually doing some kind of service here, and they're not. But don't worry, the left wingers are just totally bat poop crazy.